What if I told you that people are skipping out on paying their bills? The number one concern for most Americans is the cost of living. It used to be called the affordability crisis. And back before the pandemic or during the pandemic, the affordability crisis used to only refer to housing, which was already in a dire situation. But that's what the affordability crisis was limited to. Now, the affordability crisis has spread throughout all sectors of life. Food, healthcare, childcare, gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of it has skyrocketed and people are completely being priced out of their life. While real income increased by 2% this year, that is nowhere near the cost to cover the rise of hyperinflation, the living expenses of modern society today. The government has always touted the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, as their measure of inflation. But at this point, who believes those numbers? They always come out with a number and then a couple weeks, a couple months later, they secretly revise it and they show something significantly higher than it actually was reported. The inflation rate is measured by how much your landlord is increasing your rent. The inflation is measured by how expensive eggs are at the grocery store. It's measured by how expensive gas is at the pumps, not by what these government officials are telling you about what the CPI is. The CPI, by the way, is filled with factors that don't go up that much, which is why the CPI number is artificially low. But we all know within the past 5 years, the price of life in general has increased between 50 to 70%, and it has affected people in all walks of life, not just the rich, not just the well-to-do, the middle class, the working poor, all of the above. Everybody has been impacted by this inflation, and the cost of living is absolutely through the roof. You know, all these politicians, what they do is they get on the docket and they always promise to solve the affordability crisis. But guys, I got news for you. Nobody can fix the affordability crisis. It is impossible to fix. There is no going back. There is no way that the prices can return back to their pre-pandemic levels. What you are asking for in that case is deflation, not just slower inflation. You're asking for prices in general to go down. The last time that happened was almost 100 years ago during the 1929 Great Depression, which was the greatest recession that humanity has ever known. That was the last time that prices have actually gone down. Is that what people want? Is that what politicians want? No politician would ever want to have a depression as part of their track record. That would kill their career. That would be political suicide. Inflation is here to stay, my friends. There's no wishing for the prices of years past because that is completely useless. We have to live in this economy now and we have to just deal with it. Do not rely on any politicians or any government officials who can come up there and basically just spout lies about how they're going to fix inflation and fix the affordability crisis. They cannot. Nobody can. Inflation is here to stay. The genie is out of the bottle. Humpty Dumpty cannot be put back together again. The money has already been printed and spent. The damage is done. And unfortunately, we cannot rely on politicians or on the government to help us anymore. We have to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. We have to take charge of our own future. That's my purpose for making these videos. It's to educate, to inform, to give people a leg up. You gotta rely on yourself. Do not rely on the government to help you with these things, because they won't, and in fact they'll probably make things worse. Any politician who comes up saying that they can fix the affordability crisis, that's when you should be scared, because they'll always just end up making it worse. Did you know that over 30% of Americans are facing heat or eat decisions at this point in time? That means they either have to choose between eating a meal or heating their house. That's how drastic the situation is. Even six-figure earners, people earning over $100,000, are living check to check. 61% of six-figure earners say they are barely just getting by. Many of them are taking side hustles. 53% of them are selling personal items, and 41% of them are even taking on roommates or renters to basically offset the cost of their own mortgage and their own rent. It used to be if you earned 6 figures, you were living the golden life. You cannot survive and raise a family of 4 on just $100,000 these days. You have to increase your income. You have to live well below your means. Do not put things on credit cards, payment plans, all these things. Take charge of your own financial future. 61% of 6-figure earners say they are just getting by. And all of this stems from the rise of social media. Basically FOMO, fear of missing out, keeping up with the Joneses, always looking behind your shoulder, seeing what your neighbor has got, and trying your darndest to look the part, to show people up. Well, that attitude has gotten people broke. It has gotten people in this situation where they can no longer afford daily life. This is absolutely a key aspect of economics. Consumer spending is the backbone of the US economy. Without it, we fall into a recession, we fall into a depression, and the government, politicians are always encouraging us to spend. That is great for the economy, but is bad for us personally, because you are in this hamster wheel of life. You're always just earning to spend. You're earning to spend. And when does it stop? It never stops. And that's what gets people off guard. It's the ever increasing expenses of life. That is a big reason why people are in such financial desperation right now. Do not rely on any politicians. Take charge of your own life. Take matters into your own hands. Start looking at ways to earn more money. Start looking at ways to save more money. And with those savings over time, start investing that money in order to grow, so that you don't end up completely broke and desperate like so many Americans are. You know, the origin of all this hyperinflation, all this money printing, it actually originated back in 1971 when President Richard Nixon took the US off the gold standard. What does that mean? Before 1971, the US dollar was always tied to gold. There was no way that the government could just print out more money. But now, since Nixon took us off the gold standard, the government was free to print as much money as they wanted to keep up with the economy. That is why over these past decades, and especially these last few years, money has been printed like never before. That was the government's way of getting us out of the recession and controlling the money supply. As a result of that, the dollar was devalued. The dollar is no longer a dollar anymore. It's worth like 50 cents, and we are all paying the price for it. That is yet another example of why you've got to learn more about personal finance. You've got to start thinking about investing so that you can stay one step ahead of this hyperinflation, where your money is currently shrinking, devaluing. Without any kind of investment strategy, your money is shrinking by the day. It is getting devalued. Do not let this happen to you guys. Please start educating yourself about personal finance and letting your money work for you. All right, guys, this is Alex from Low Key Millionaire here. We have to get out of this consumer spending. We have to get out of this affordability crisis some way, somehow. But there is only us. We cannot rely on any politicians to help drag us out. Only we can do this ourselves. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.